Sophomore from Easton, Pennsylvania, number 8, Chris Valor. And outside hitter, the 6'6" junior from Long Island, New York, number 9, Tyler Phillips. At the barrel, the 6'1" senior from Palos Park, Illinois, number 11, Jeremiah Burton. And outside hitter, the 6'4" sophomore from Allentown, Pennsylvania, number 14, Chase Robbins. And at middle blocker, the 6'4" graduate student from Reading, Pennsylvania, number 20, Luke Hoffman. The head coach for the Eagles is Glenda Hayden, assisted by Brandon McDonough and Will McPhillips. And now, fans, it's time to meet your Carthage College Fire!
And welcome one, welcome all. It's time for the Frog Jump Invitational, live on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Hello everybody, alongside my broadcast colleague this entire weekend, Justin Coorigan, I'm Peter Ferreri. Let's look at the starters for the home Firebirds. Hendricks Nolan's gonna be your libero. Maury Setting, Ben the Heisman is gonna be your oppo. Schweitzer, Cholowinski, and Otto are gonna be your starters for the Firebirds this Thursday evening in Kenosha. Justin, Juniata has not lost. The Firebirds only lost one, and it's the last game they played. Let's start with Juniata, one of the best teams in the nation, as is the Firebirds. But what does Juniata have to do to steal one in Kenosha this Thursday evening?
I think Juniata, they come in, they've only lost one set all season, so they're off to a great start. 8-0 on the year for matches. They just got to keep doing what they've been doing. They block well, they pass well, they serve well. and they hit well. The Firebirds hit equally as well. They don't serve quite as well. They don't block quite as well statistically so far this season. But both sides are going to have one heck of a match coming in, and this whole weekend is going to be a lot of fun.
Indeed it is. Left to right are going to be the Firebirds in their home whites with red numbers and letters black trim. The visiting Juniata College squad is going to be wearing the short sleeve blues with white numbers and letters. The simplicity of both these squads, always something to admire. Juniata, a few scratches coming into today. But again, that starting lineup is something to be reckoned with. Let's look at the Firebirds, again, coming off a loss, but they went on a very challenging West Coast road trip, including a big win against the Banana Slugs.
Yeah, and I think that big win kind of cost them in that loss to Cal Lutheran the next day. They had a quick turnaround. They didn't finish that Santa Cruz game until almost 11:30 Central Time, so it was a very late night with a very quick turnaround for the Firebirds team, coming in against one of the best teams in the country in Cal Lutheran, and Cal Lutheran showed it that day. But this could be another good bounce back. They've had a full almost 2 weeks of rest now, and they're at home. And you can never rule the Firebirds out in Tarble Arena.
Indeed you can't, so waiting for the officials to get things started. R2 holding off the call for the R1, and we are about to get underway in Kenosha. Sear, the setter out of Hummelstown, Pennsylvania, starts things off. Nolan Libero from the 10-foot line, uppercut with the right hand, playable on the right side for Sear. Overpass, can the Firebirds take advantage? Down in, net violation called already against Tyler Phillips, and point goes to the Birds.
It's going to be interesting to see as we get into this. The one stat that the Eagles are way behind the Firebirds in is digs per set. The Firebirds posting 11.2 per set coming into the day. Eagles just at 7.7. So how well can the Eagles protect the back end?
An overpass by Nolan, that one able to be delivered quickly for the other bird, the Eagle, so I have to do the Battle of the Birds, you know.
Of course.
I do appreciate the Libero jerseys, very unique for Juniata. So they are all gold with the navy number on the front, but that checkered pattern on the back. So the double Libero deployed. Luke Hoffman is going to be your rotational Libero today with Juniata, along with number 11, Jeremiah Burden. So something to keep your eye on amongst that rotation. High pass near pin, blocked back, playable for the Eagles. Back set for the lefty, that one's going out of play. Able to stay alive is Sear. He's been all over the court today. Directional set out of play. Another point goes to the Firebirds. Coach for Carthage. Squad solid start, 3-1.
And any small run like this, sure his guys see that when they're doing things good, he's excited.
Out of play, the power serve, bit too much for Hendricks. But again, this Firebird squad prides themselves in the best of serves. Serving now for Juniata, number 13, Andrew Perhamas out of Easton, Pennsylvania. One of the shorter players. How about that tool over the middle? Power bomb by Cholowinski.
And that was all in the jump. Cholowinski got just a little bit higher than Luke Hoffman there. Was able to put it off the top of his hands and out of play.
Running out of play. Tapping it in, triple block. Poked up by Heiss. The left side, and another net violation called against Juniata. That's 2 out of the first 5 points by the Firebirds by way of net violations.
Yeah, the Eagles just off to a bit of a shaky start here as far as playing clean volleyball. Their passes are a little off. They're getting into the net, just need to kind of take a breather and settle in.
quick one over the, oh, nice set. Will Sear, the 6-foot sophomore out of Pennsylvania, just doing a solid job with his passing this early onset of set number 1.
That's a tough swing to be able to recognize coming out of the back row. It's very short. You don't see the full arm swing. Very hard to react to it as quickly as the ball comes in.
Picked out of the back row, high back set. Oh, how about that? Ryan Morey getting the start at setter today. Just flicked that back in with the right hand. Unbelievable play.
And that almost appeared like he was going to go for the dump, but instead he tucked it back perfectly with a one-handed set, earning the kill.
3-point lead for the Firebirds. Set near side through the triple block, playable by Nolan. From the 10-foot line, sending it a bit too far, was Hendricks.
And that set just a little too far off the 10-foot line from Kolowitz. Had to reach out a little too much, couldn't get on top of the ball.
Back to serve now for Juniata, again coming in with their 8-0 record overall. Firebirds 4-1, so 3 less contests for the Firebirds. And a service error, a gimme point for Carthage. Top serve by Otto. Quiet start for him this evening. Hits the block, rolls back, playable for the Eagles. Side bump, clears the pin. Set left side, powers through. Back set, knocked back in. Outstanding play once again, Owen Hendricks. And the Birds of Fire up by 4.
That was an unbelievable sequence from Owen Hendricks. First, a great swing to get the Eagles off balance, and then coming in with a solo block, moving completely to his left, getting the hands right where he needed to be to put that one back.
Getting up to the rafters, pinballs around and hits the ground. Zach Nolan, I mean, he had to play it, but he couldn't make that second touch, and that's where the ceilings of Tarble Arena will come into play.
And it's such a maze up there in the rafters, the way Tarble Arena is set up. Very hard to read when the ball's traveling that fast.
Nice pass from the back row. Otto blocked, Nolan poked up, falling away. Can the Eagles take advantage? Once again, Otto finds it. The quick over the middle. Hendricks sends it back and in. Owen Hendricks comes away with the kill, but that is truly a team point because each and every aspect was firing on all cylinders to be able to set up Hendricks at the very end.
Absolutely, and we would have been saying that with either side of the ball, that the Eagles doing the exact same thing, just happened to go the way of Hendricks on that one with a beautiful swing.
And that's an ace, just keeping it in play. Hudson Schweitzer, as number 8 for Juniata, Chris Malore out of Easton, Pennsylvania. He ducked out of the way and it fell right where his hips were.
That was a great call too by the official, watching it all the way in and then ducking out of the way before making the call, as that one stays just a bit outside.
Officials doing a stellar job this evening. Your R1, Merrick Frantz. Your R2, Christian Krishak. And your lines are Glenn Nielsen and Anthony Chan. From the Bick is Otto. Cholowinski passes up. From the Bick again, they keep trying to feed Otto. Off the triple block, and it falls right behind Owen Hendricks. Nice job by Juniata, just trying to power it through in that far pin.
And that's the thing, again, we mentioned it in the pregame, Firebirds don't always block the best. A young team trying to learn how to block together. Juniata did a good job there of trying to force an error from the block.
Nice back set off the clavicle of Will Sear. And Carthage, and see, one of the challenges that Carthage has had, again, they've been victorious 4 out of 5 times, but kind of a slow start in that set one. That is not the case today, that 11-7 lead. Carthage, but they're tested with being a come-from-behind team, so if you are a Firebirds fan, you like to see an early lead against a higher-ranked team at this point. The uppercut by Juniata to keep it alive. Pass left side, Hendricks, but flicked right back down. Tyler Goldsboro out of Reading, Pennsylvania. Juniata back within 3.
That was a beautiful block from the 6'5" graduate student. Got it at the peak of his height, just able to keep that long arm extended long enough to get a hold of the ball and put it right back down where it came from.
Lead of 3. That stays in. What an, excuse me. So the line judge said in, but the other officials overruled, go out, point Carthage.
Yeah, the line judge responsible for that sideline ruled out from the far corner.
R1 had that near sideline, and point goes right back. So I always like to say close calls, if it's a split decision, the volleyball gods often give the other team the point quickly thereafter.
I believe that's what the kids say, ball don't lie.
Ball don't lie.
More of a basketball phrase, but it works here.
It works, it works, we'll use it. Oh, hardest hit of the day. The automatic Owen Otto, who comes into today swinging at a 58 kill rate, most kills on the team.
They may need to check the floor after that one. There may be a dent. That was a rocket off the hand of Owen Otto.
And again, the Firebirds, back-to-back national champions just a few years ago. A very young team now for the Firebirds. After those players have moved on in their life and careers. But again, this just shows you how good the youth has been. But how about that for strength? And they might issue a warning right now. Luke Hoffman is going to have a conversation with the R1, it looks like. Head coach Glenn DeHaven, an 07 grad of Juniata in his own right, in his 9th season at the helm. So the R1 having a conversation. They had to kind of hold Hoffman back a little bit. That is not often you see something along those lines. Talk us through it, Justin, what you may have seen different than I.
I didn't see a whole lot of what happened there, just maybe a little bit of chirping back and forth. Big play. These teams aren't rivals that you see that often, especially in volleyball.
Tyler Phillips out of Long Island with the service errors. So 3 service errors now for Juniata. And again, when you have a lot of national eyes on you, not necessarily a situation you want to be in. Left-hand back row out of play. Too much behind it was Kolwitz. Serving now, Chase Robbins out of Allentown. Because my wife's a big fan of 42nd Street, she'd want me to say Allentown. Bit of a missed time there by Hudson Schweitzer. A rare miss for Schweitzer on that timing.
Yeah, I think that was, he was looking to see where he hit the ball before he hit the ball. Just a swing and a miss there.
Robbins to serve again out of Allentown. And answering back is Otto. Otto right now a 3.2 kills percent average, and he's hitting at a 233 clip.
And that play does not get started without a beautiful first ball from Zach Nolan on the serve receive. That thing was right where it needed to be to set up the kill.
And sailing too far was Hoffman, just a bit too much underneath it, the grad student out of Exeter Township High. No timeout so far, Justin. If Carthage gets one more, maybe a consideration for Juniata. Not going to happen there, and that's been the situation, is even though Carthage has had a lead the entirety of set number 1, Juniata's done just enough to stay close to not warrant that timeout.
Absolutely. When you're as good as these two programs are, you're not going to panic as quickly as you might in a situation where either you're a good team and you're down to a team that's not good, or you're the team that's not good trying to learn how to play against good teams.
Joust at the net. What a play by Ruben Emmerich. Just used that awareness, that vision, saw the overpass, took advantage.
He took a quick second, you watch it closely, he looks to his left before the ball gets there, sees where the open floor is, and rather than putting it down with two hands, he uses that right hand to put it right where it needed to be.
On the slide, don't see it much in the men's game, and the slide timing was just a bit off. Biggest lead of the evening, 18-13, Firebirds over the Eagles.
I'm a little surprised there's not a timeout called right here. This is getting to the point where it's a little bit too much ground to make up. I mean, obviously it's not, but I would still probably use a timeout here.
And Juniata gets that one right back.
Coach Kike for questioning a bit there, thinking it was a little bit closer than it was. I think it was the right call, though.
Guy just throws the thumb up. Serving now, Sear. Shorter bench for the Eagles in their weekend travels here for the Frog Jump Invite. Directional set. Can Juniata take advantage? No tip, out of play. Juniata thought they got the tip. They did not. Firebirds need 6.
Not a lot of complaining though there, but again, still no timeout. 5-point game, 6 to go for Carthage. I'm surprised these Eagles bench is letting them play. Shows the faith DeHaven has in his squad to come back from its small deficit.
High back set. Overpass, Juniata trying to take advantage, poked with the right hand. Playable for the Eagles, and point going to Juniata. You kind of just felt Juniata had the advantage that Firebirds were on their heels a lot of that rally.
Yeah, and sometimes you're going to get that, where just the ball doesn't come off on the first pass, and it just automatically sets that point, the momentum of that point to one side versus the other.
And that's going to hit the tape. Another service error. That is number 4 for Juniata. And truly, you take those 4 away, it's a completely different ball game.
Absolutely, you're right back in here. In fact, it's a 4-point swing the other way, potentially, to where Carthage might be the one having to worry about a timeout late.
Quick set over the middle. That's arguably one of the best sets of the evening. Chris Malore with the clean set for Juniata. High set left side, block back, playable. Joust won by the Eagles. Luke Hoffman. That might be credited as a block as he sits with 30 total blocks on the year, and Juniata's backed within 3.
That's going to be an interesting matchup all night. Hoffman versus Cholowinski. Cholowinski out lengths at 6'8".
Firebirds getting the point. They're claiming that there was no touch, but the R1, I mean, it was right in front of them, so that's hard to challenge, verbally speaking. So the R2 right now having a conversation with head coach DeHaven.
That was a hard one to tell from our angle. Kafer now at 11 subs.
Serving now is Jack McDonald. The right hand sends it to the back row. Up in the sky for Goldsboro. Another high set through the triple block. And Chase Robbins powers it through.
They're going to go with a triple block for a swing that far off the net. You got to be up in time. Firebird's just a little late and out of sync. And it tools off the hands of Otto for the point, cutting this to a 3-point game.
Lead at 3. Juniata within striking distance. Can they string a few together, or can the Firebirds hold on as they are 4 away from set number 1? High topspin serve, overpass. Can Juniata take advantage? Overpass on the return from the Bick. Back row playable for Juniata. Missed time, digging down to the knee is Maury. Left hand flick. Directional set to the back row. Carthage is their time now. Left hand down, and it is Ben Heis Baby brings Carthage within 3 of set number 1.
And that one, I know it was a long rally, but I gotta go back to the overpass on the overpass that really cost the Eagles there. They had a golden opportunity to strike early in that point, get back within 2, and they let it go through their fingers on a second overpass.
No touch, is trying to swing through it was Tyler Phillips. And you know, when you're down by a few, when you have your opponent Carthage in the quote red zone, sometimes you just try to make up for it in one swing. That's the case there. And there indeed is the first timeout of the entire first set. 23-18, your score again for Justin Coorigan. I'm Peter Ferreri. We appreciate you being with us on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Justin, what have you seen from Carthage so far to not only get that early lead, but maintain it point after point?
I think it's just aggression right off the bat. They attacked offensively from the word go, as we mentioned, something we don't always see from them early.
Yeah.
We've seen them struggle in set 1 early on the season, show their youth a bit. We're not seeing it all that much tonight. This is a hard-fought contest. They're swinging hard. They're getting up for blocks aggressively. They're blocking a little bit better than we've seen as well. And they're not missing as many serves. So they're playing clean, smart volleyball, and they've got a chance to pull away a first set win.
As for Juniata, we kept questioning throughout the set 1 again, with just not a lot of familiarity with the DeHaven style of coaching. It seems that just at that 5 to 6 point mark was going to be that breaking point. Now, can they string together a run to close out set number 1? We will see, but again, let's just play the game that if Carthage does come away victorious in set number 1, what adjustments would you want to see from Juniata in set number 2?
I think just settling down. I mean, you've seen it a bit throughout. They just sloppy passing off serve receive sometimes. Not necessarily being in position when a ball comes off on a tool or a block. So just kind of cleaning up the little things to be able to play a little bit cleaner volleyball, and that might be enough to help them out in the long term of this match.
High set to the left side, and that's a good start. Grant Lorelli, one of the setters. He's the second leading setter coming into today with 93 sets. Really a clean one on that front.
I think here Coach Kikefer would let him get to about 21 before wasting a timeout.
And that one way out of play, and we are now at set 1 point for Carthage, 24-19.
Firebirds fans on their feet, as per tradition here in Tarble Arena. Beautiful serve.
Not able to get underneath it at the last moment was Nolan.
Great campfire kill there for the Eagles, keeping the set alive.
So trying to string together a few. Luke Hoffman. Can he deliver? Down by 4. Needing 4 to send it to deuce. Nolan with the bump. Pass left side, right hand uppercut. Playable for the Eagles, but hitting it into the tape was Tyler Phillips. And set 1 goes the way of the Firebirds, 25-20. Can Juniata tie it up after 2? Don't go anywhere. We'll find out on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
Located in Kenosha and Racine. Doctors of Physical Therapy, Comprehensive Orthopedics.
The Aspire program is part of the Aspire Center, and the Aspire Center is our 4-year career and professional development program here at Carthage College. The Aspire program is really different and unique from other colleges and universities' career programs because instead of what the typical experience is of senior year trying to go get a job or an experience after college, we want students to build their experiences starting from day one. So whether that means going and finding an alumni panel that they're going to learn from an alumni about the career industry that they're excited about, or if it means getting an internship or a research experience that's going to build their portfolio, we want the students to develop and learn who they are so they can really leave Carthage with a very good sense of purpose and understanding before they actually leave the college. Every student that comes to Carthage has their own individual career specialist. This is a person who specializes in the industry field that they're going into. For example, we have a career specialist for our arts, communication, and culture students. This is a person who's been working as a graphic designer for the past 20 years. And she's responsible for helping those students get opportunities and experiences along the way.
I landed my first internship as a freshman at Deloitte, which is #1 of the Big 4 accounting firms in the world. Through the Aspire program, I was able to develop skills that helped me in interviews as well as networking with other professionals.
Welcome back. Set one went the way of the Firebirds. They have flipped sides, and we are still here with you on this Thursday evening. It's heated up a bit, though, in Kenosha. It was rain, not snow, so that's a win for those like myself that have a little bit of a commute in, and Juniata, who's in for the entirety of the weekend. When did they get into town, Justin?
I believe last night.
Okay.
I think they had a practice yesterday, maybe a serve and pass this morning.
Their benches stretching their backs in unison for the serve, almost an ace. High set, but playable from the Bick. Again, both teams utilizing high sets this evening, except that one, the quick one to Cholowinski, and he ties it up at one apiece.
It's always an interesting swing from Cholowinski at 6'8". He gets up so high that edge is almost coming where he's pushing out from his chest. Almost more of a one-handed chest pass in basketball. Serve from Hendricks.
That stayed in. Revitalized Juniata squad here in set number 2. The kills that were a little errant in their accuracy, much more online here in set number 2.
Exactly, and I think an interesting thing, the only other set they've lost this year, this was the second set of the season, 8-0 record. The only other time they lost a set was in set 1, and they came back and won 3-1. It'll be interesting to see if they can do that again here tonight.
Pass to the left side. Nice dig in the back row. Over the triple, and point goes to Juniata, and this is the exact start that they needed coming out of set number 1. Outstanding play again by Chase Robbins.
And the swings were a little rough for them in the first set, only hitting 167, Carthage hitting 233.
And that's going to be a missed time by Maury. Again, Maury getting most of the setting reps here in this evening's contest. He sits at 9, Kolwitz at 3.
And Maury just still trying to learn how to work with Cholowinski a bit. Obviously some big shoes to fill in the setter position as that one goes into the net side out to Carthage.
I don't want to say the irony, but something that has plagued Carthage or been a challenge is they've had so many power servers over the years that you expect those to be what happens to Carthage, not necessarily the Juniata side. So these service errors continue for the Eagles. ISO kill, what a strong pass using the full length of the net for Juniata, and they're back up by 3.
Tyler Phillips there, just a lot of power on what appeared to be a tip until kind of forearm just kind of shoved it forward a lot faster than I was anticipating.
And the Firebirds, once again, point from the service error. That might be something to see how many they're averaging a game. This is a high number so far. They have 108 service errors on the season. They're averaging 2 aces a set. We'll have to see what that math is, as Carthage not able to get there in time.
Yeah, so at least by the naked eye of the numbers, it appears they kind of are similar to Carthage in the sense of they live by the power serve, they die by the power serve. Getting that many aces in, but also that many service errors this early in the season, it's definitely a double-edged sword for the Eagles. Good floater there.
So they're averaging 13 service errors a game, if my math is correct. Three-point lead. Can the Firebirds find themselves back? That'll help start things. Nice play down that far line. Juniata thought they were going to cross court. Instead, played the line game and kept it in. Otto back to serve. Coming in for the kill. That one just goes out of play. So the almost misfortune of Juniata comes back to favor Carthage, because one of their players had already dove out of play to keep the ball alive. That where he was supposed to be is exactly where the ball dropped. So that one favoring Juniata. 3-point lead for the Eagles.
Going back to their service errors to aces, if you convert it to sets the way the aces were with 2.12, it is 4.32 service errors a set coming into the night.
That's a lot.
I'll work on getting the math to you on what Carthage does for comparison. As we've mentioned, they
Per set?
per set through 25 sets this season, averaging 4.3 service errors a set.
Wow.
What a swing.
Carthage answers back, and the Firebirds within 1. Set left side, over the double, nice dig. Firebirds trying to play it and not able to get there in time. For Juniata is Jeremiah Burden, a fairly local product out of Sandburg High School in Palos, Illinois. Head coach David Vales, who has sent numerous players, men's and women's, coast to coast. One of the best high school coaches that I've ever had the pleasure of knowing, and has cared so much about the sport of volleyball, so I'm sure he'll be happy to know he gets a shout out this evening. Oh, nice play over the middle of Cholo. That's 2 times this set he's gotten that quick one and just redirected.
Exactly, and I got a feeling we're going to see that more and more as the season goes on. The farther away we get from the Gene McNulty era and we get these younger setters learning how to work with Cholowinski, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, there's a nice back set. Way to deliver is Luke Hoffman. Juniata takes the lead once again by 1.
To finish off our little math lesson,
Please.
the Firebirds, on the other hand, are averaging 1.28 kills per set compared to 3.5 service aces per set, or sorry, service errors per set, as there's a service ace for Juniata. So for a team that we usually talk about as struggling with the serve, they actually make less errors than this Eagles team.
I was confused for a second because the Juniata bench just ran toward the locker room. And that is followed up by a service error, which we were just talking about. So it was some sort of celebration that has now allowed Carthage to be back to within 1. I've never seen something like that before.
No. Maybe they need a bathroom break? Somebody forgot their lucky sneakers? Like Mike-esque?
Service ace. Ace is the place for the Firebirds. Owen Hendricks delivers with his 6th ace of the season. That stays in, answering back the big man in the middle. Number 8, the tiny 6'9", Chris Malore. Shout out as well, we were talking about Sandburg. You know, one of the players that did so well under his guide was Cameron Petrusevsky. Went on to play at UCLA in the men's program, and that's a pretty good program.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
They have their moments.
Keeping it in. Full throttle from the left pin is Goldsboro.
You can't place that ball any better. That was almost perfectly in the back corner. Not much Carthage can do about that one.
Almost a dump attempt, but it worked nonetheless. Owen Otto just kind of flicked it over the head, over his head. Will Sear was able to get to it, but not enough underneath it. Firebirds, it's a flip situation right now. Firebirds are the team, much like the Eagles in set number 1, that are constantly that 1 or 2 points behind. Let's see if they can make up that ground here midway through set number 2.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to what we talked about with the Eagles at the end, just not quite clean in this second set, making a little bit more errors, not timing their blocks up. They're passing outside some of the ones we've seen from Zach Nolan in the last few plays, has not been clean. Zach Nolan's put up some beautiful passes to set up those points. But other than that, just kind of some sloppy play that kind of needs to be cleaned up here if the Firebirds want to keep in this second set.
Taking a breath before the serve. The power righty with right thumb taped. Goldsboro, and that stays in. Firebirds answer back and are within 1.
That was a perfectly placed ball for Owen Otto, coming in with the right hand just inside the antenna, and he puts it down with a beautiful shot.
Serving for Carthage, number 9, Joe
Kolwitz, one of the rotational setters in now for the serve. Lefty adds a little bit different of a spin, hits off the rafters, playable, stayed on the same side. Double block, in. Firebirds have tied it at lucky number 13.
It was a beautiful brick wall double block there. Ball coming off the left hand of Hudson Schweitzer. Just getting inside that line. Firebirds even it back up.
Back set, sailing away. Too much air for Tyler Phillips. He was looking to hit high off the block, and the Firebirds have their first lead of set number 2.
Yeah, got way underneath the ball there, mistimed the swing. I don't think that stayed in the basketball court, that sail so far out.
And toward the student section, I cannot make out what team that is, but there isn't, you could probably help out with that. There's a team in the bleachers in the student section. Not sure if it's lacrosse, water polo, e-sports. I'm just going to start naming them until you say, yeah, that's it.
I can assure you it's not water polo.
Okay.
There's no men's water polo here.
I was just going with it.
A lot of guys, but I appreciate the guessing. I would, lacrosse seems like a good guess. I'd go football maybe. I think I'm seeing the football coaching staff maybe on the far end. It's hard to tell.
Nonetheless, 15-14 Juniata now in a little bit of a run. If Carthage can come away with set 2 victory, my oh my, does that put the pressure on Juniata. It would have to then get that reverse sweep, which is not unfathomable, but easier said than done. Playable for the Firebirds. The set, the kill! Wow, what a rally! Bench explodes!
Dominant. Ryan Cholowinski is fired up on the sidelines. Almost having to be held back by Coach Kiekefer there. He was so amped up.
Tied at 15, Otto. Power serves, ricochets, but playable because it stayed on the same side of the rafters. Hendricks keeps it alive. The snap, the delivery. Joe Kolwitz. When the setter gets a kill, that shows you things are firing up for Carthage.
Top of that, also firing up is this Tarble Arena crowd. They're getting louder and louder with each point.
Another point.
I don't know if I agree with that call.
Carthage up by 2. Regardless of our feelings, boy oh boy, what a run for Carthage, 3 in a row. They trailed 15-14. Justin, what's kind of been the switch that's been flipped for Carthage?
I think it's just the energy right now. At the beginning of the set, you saw the Juniata bench was dancing around. They were excited. All of a sudden, last couple points, this Tarble Arena crowd, along with this Firebirds team, has gotten, for better lack of term, #fired up. Just absolutely electric energy in here, and the Firebirds are taking advantage of it, playing with more aggression, forcing a timeout here late in set number 2.
17-15 your score. Let's crunch some of the numbers. Both teams hitting fairly evenly. 283 for Carthage, 275 for Juniata. But again, that 8-5 service error differential, it's really the difference in both sets right now. But individually speaking, when you look at 6 kills for Phillips, it's been a more diversified approach for Carthage. So they're just really trying to take away Phillips, or they're playing the game of, fine, we'll let Phillips beat us, but nobody else will. But these past few points, neither team has found an advantage in set number 2, Carthage trying to at this point.
And And this is exactly what we were hoping to see at this Frog Jump Invitational, just back and forth, some of the best teams in the country. No one getting more momentum to pull away.
Along the left side, that's the way to get that coach's point. Chase Robbins.
Looking back at last season, if the Firebirds were able to take this set and go up 2 sets, only 7 times all season last year, Juniata fell or dropped 2 sets.
So we have confirmation from the scorers table that it is indeed Stevens men's volleyball team in the bleachers watching the game.
There we go. That would make sense for some of the burgundy.
So I was not close at all. It is now mind you, folks, not that you care at all. We are up opposite to that side of the, I'm lucky to make out that those are people and not, cardboard cutouts.
I left my binoculars out at Art Keller Field.
Well, we'll be back there soon. Men's and women's lacrosse starting sooner rather than later, Justin.
The men's team kicks off the season Saturday on the road down at a neutral site in St. Louis.
You can find May in St. Louis. Ever heard of Nelly before?
I have, yes.
Okay. I was telling somebody the other day, I quoted something, and they were like, what's that? Or they knew the song, I should say. And I said, well, I'm going to have to tell my friend Justin, because sometimes I reference songs, and Justin gets it, but maybe not all the people I work with that are much younger in age don't get my song references. So I'm glad you've heard of Nelly.
The worst the other day, I was making a reference to the White Sox 2005 World Series, and my student worker goes, I wasn't born yet.
Oh, yeah.
That one hurt.
That student wasn't born, and I was in grad school when that happened.
I won't tell you what grade I was in to make you feel better.
No, that's okay.
I was in the 1st grade.
But you remember it at least.
Oh, yes. I also did not talk to my mother for a whole day when she did not let me miss school for the parade.
Oh, yeah, that's tough.
6-year-old me was not happy.
19-19 your score, where they just sang Journey on repeat, Don't Stop Believin'. That's one of the most epic playoff runs in baseball history.
Was it 11-1?
Something like that.
Mistaken, dropping 1 game to the...
I was a big El Duque fan when they picked him up with that high leg kick. Through the triple block. Nolan keeps it alive. Can Juniata take the lead, reach the red zone? Nolan off the rafters. Near pin, Hendricks pop back. Playable over the middle, Cholowinski again. The quick set to Cholo, proving itself deadly here in set number 2.
You said it perfectly. That is a deadly swing. He comes up like he's going to delay it. And it's all in a torque rotation of his core, not even moving his hips, swings the shoulders around and almost punches the ball towards the back line. Absolutely lethal from the middle.
Left hand over. Nice way to answer for the Eagles. Thundering through. Tied at 20. Both teams reaching the red zone. This is fun. This is fun. If you're not a fan of volleyball, watch this one.
I got a feeling we're going to be seeing this all weekend long with these 4 teams.
And a misplay by Carthage. Juniata needs 4. Yeah, talk us through a little bit, Justin. You're going to be here all weekend for all the broadcasts. And Carthage does indeed take a timeout. I kind of felt you needed to, because the last 2 points just really, the timing was a bit off. But if you want to kind of preview the rest of the Frog Jump Invitational, again, you'll be here all afternoon, all day, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday as well, to kind of say, what do we have coming up? Who's going to be playing who? Implications, a lot of national eyes on this weekend in Kenosha.
Absolutely, and obviously we're kicking things off with this Frog Jump Invitational tonight. 2 ranked teams, number 8 Carthage, number 5 Juniata. Tomorrow, Juniata's back right away at 3:30 Central Time against number 12 Baldwin Wallace, one of the other incredibly talented ranked teams here. And then closing things off tomorrow night, Carthage back against number 3 Stevens, who we mentioned is in the building tonight, kind of watching, maybe doing an early scout of both the Firebirds and Juniata, who they will see to open Saturday at 11 a.m. We will most likely have Coach Kiekefer of the Firebirds on that broadcast, at least for a little bit, talking about the previous 2 games and previewing their finale, which we'll get to. Stevens will then stay on the court and face Baldwin Wallace at 1:30. And then the Firebirds close out the tournament against Baldwin Wallace at 4 p.m. on Saturday. So incredible talent is going to be on display here all weekend long. 4 top 12 teams. Something you don't see all that often in college sports, let alone men's volleyball, until you get to an NCAA tournament. So to be able to see this early in the year is something truly special. That one's in the net. Another service error. Live by the serve, die by the serve.
Not only the service error, the coach's point service error for Kiekefer.
It's a lot like icing the kicker in football before a field goal. Get in the head of it. Let them think about that serve.
Juniata gets that point right back. 3 more. Carthage still has that second timeout. Let's see if they utilize it if Juniata gets 1 more.
I feel like you have to here. You don't want them getting the set point. It appears we have a hold up. The security alarm is going off.
Do you hear it in the background?
Yes, I do. And I was trying to figure out why everybody was looking towards the Juniata bench. Thought maybe there was something more dramatic going on.
And we do see security in the background going to check it out. And again, they're going to let him play on. Okay. So somebody gave the okay.
I believe Associate AD Mark White went and turned off the alarm.
Has it stopped? Or it has. Sometimes my ears just keep ringing.
You should see a doctor about that.
That took me way too long to understand. Oh, boy. All right. Oh, the reverse dump attempt at the net. Playable by the Firebirds through the double block. Carthage ties it up at 22 apiece.
Tool time for Owen Otto.
Assistant coaches for Carthage, Jacob Bush and Dave Marcus, on their feet cheering on the Firebirds. Assistant coaches for Juniata, Brandon McDonough and Will McPhillips. Playable left side, able to pierce through the armor. Ben Heiss, quiet evening for him, but a timely kill.
Absolutely beautiful swing there. Taking this Firebirds offense to new heights. There's a new one. We got a new one.
Powering through, no touch. Carthage 1 point away from going up 2-0. Juniata doing the smart thing, utilizing a timeout.
Yeah, you have to here. You have to burn that timeout. Carthage on too much of a run. You know their crowd's going to get going. (24-22). What a run for the Firebirds. 3 in a row. The last time the timeout was needed for Juniata, it was the same story, 17-15. A 7-8 run, or a 7-7 run. Lead still sits at 2. Carthage needs 1. As we see some replays here, but again, Carthage just weathering the storm, staying the course, and being able to do what's necessary. Absolutely, just staying locked in, and this is something that's really good to see from a young team. They're not panicking when a good team like Juniata is getting a small lead, even a couple points. They're staying in, they're locked in, they're playing smart volleyball, and they're making plays happen. And that's a really good sign for a young team moving forward.
Juniata led for most of the game, hoping for a coach's point. as the women's basketball team sits right in front of us in the upper deck. The uppercut, playable, bounce back, and the Firebirds take advantage. Down, almost out of play. Juniata trying to find the rollover, can't find it. From the Bick, hits off the rafters, diving play. The set over. Down, kill. Owen Otto, the heartbreaker, and Carthage takes out Juniata 25-22. Justin, a 4-point run to end set number 2 for the Firebirds. Talk us through that ending.
That may have been the most aggressive 5-point series I have ever seen out of Carthage volleyball. And that's after watching 2 national championship teams. That was beautiful, aggressive offense, hard swinging, good recovery on blocks and tools. Absolutely phenomenal. And I'm a little worried this Eagles team's in trouble right now.
Yeah,
they don't seem to have an answer.
It's something. It's something. We'll take a timeout. When we come back in a few minutes, set number 3. Can the Firebirds sweep a top-ranked Juniata squad, or will Juniata find set 1 out of 3 for their chance at a reverse sweep? Don't go anywhere. We'll be back on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
Being a student athlete at Carthage, you get the best of both worlds, honestly. You get to learn, grow in the classroom, and then also be a part of the sport that you've fallen in love with since you've been playing it. You get the one-on-one support from the teachers, and then you get the help from your teammates as well.
The athletics teams here at Carthage, they're really good. Some of the achievements that we had during this past year, the volleyball team won the national championship 2 times in a row, 2 years in a row. So it was incredible to see it because we are a unit. So it's really nice to have everyone together and cheering for just one thing.
So the athletic facilities at Carthage, they're new and improving each and every year. We have the baseball, softball, and football field that all of our athletes compete on. There is the Tark, which houses the baseball weight room. There's the actual gymnasium itself, so Tarble Arena for our men's, women's basketball, volleyball. And then obviously the swimming pool that is also in the Tark, and upstairs there's the field house. We've added the Nest, which is a recovery room for all of our student athletes. There's massage guns, there's granola bars, there's other food items. So we have a lot of nice things in that room that you can sign up, take it, and it's completely for free. There's so many great opportunities. The athletic staff's super kind, your coaches care about you. There's just so much that goes into being a student athlete that it's an experience I would not take back.
Looking at some of the team stats on the Firebird Broadcasting Network for Justin Coorigan, I'm Peter Ferreri. Justin, what stands out to you so far through 2 sets?
I think the fact that just the Firebirds are out killing the Eagles right now, 50-42 is a big one. The service errors is the other big one we've been talking about all game long. 11-6 in favor of the Firebirds, with 6 having less, has been really solid for them. They need to keep that up. They need to keep forcing bad serves out of the Eagles. Keep them uncomfortable, keep them on their heels the way they have these first 2 sets.
Zeros on the board. Juniata looking for .1 to start that reverse sweep. Cholowinski couldn't find it over the middle. Triple block. Carthage says, "You shall not pass." Drawing first blood of set number 3.
I can't put my finger on it, but something looked out of sync there for the Eagles. Definitely not aggressive enough going into that triple block.
Along the left side. Point going to go to Carthage. The line judge wasn't sure if there was a touch or not. R1 says no touch. 2-0. Hot start for Carthage.
That's a smart move by the line judge. If he doesn't see it,
Yeah.
just go with the in or out and let the above net official make the call.
That stays in. As doing a quick push-up is Ben Heiss.
Cholowinski just a little late to the block there. Heiss was right in time, but Cholowinski came in a little late. He knew it. Coach Keycaper knew it. They had a laugh about it. You can afford to have a laugh about it when you're up 2-0.
High set left pin. The uppercut. Block back again. Oh, what a start for Carthage, 3-1. This is exactly how they started set number 1.
Absolutely, and we go back to the timing of the block. That is a perfectly timed block. Getting up Heiss and Cholowinski together in sync, putting that ball down on the Eagles' side of the net.
One hand block by Cholo. Juniata looks to send to the campfire. Delivered. No touch. Coach Keycaper thought there was a tip, but that went way out of play.
I'm honestly a little surprised there wasn't a touch on that. The way that swing, where he hit the ball, that angle doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but we're pretty far away from this action. Those refs are a lot closer. I'll defer to their good judgment.
Left hand through the triple block. Nice dig. Back row for the Birds. Poking through. Bit of discombobulation for Juniata. It doesn't matter. Towing the line and delivering 2 quick ones for the Eagles. They're back tied at 3.
That's the kind of kill the Eagles needed right now. Momentum definitely in the Firebirds' way. Got a man who hits the floor there, but it doesn't matter. The 5-on-6 disadvantage not playing a factor.
Owen Otto says, "Feed me more." Hardest hit of the night, 9 kills for 00 Otto.
My jaw's on the ground right now. I can't believe how hard he hit that volleyball.
Block back. Hudson Schweitzer says, "Stop it."
That ball was hit equally as hard, and Schweitzer put it right back where it came from.
Falling away. Now it's just power blow for power blow. Juniata, Luke Hoffman says, "I am your father."
Just the 4th. Correction, here's my stats reload. He's stuck in set 2. I'll get you his kill count here when I get updated stats.
That stays in as well. First 2 sets, longer rallies right now. In set number 3, it's just left hook to right hook, and back we go. Double block, punched over, falling away. Can the Firebirds deliver? Not able to get there in time. Boy, oh boy. 2 of the best in the nation, 2 of the top 10 teams going at it. Number 5 trailing 2 sets to 0 against number 8.
That was a great effort there to read in the rafters from Goldsboro. He couldn't quite get to it, but he also had a better effort avoiding the bleachers there.
Falling away, not able to get underneath it cleanly, is Kolwitz. Kolwitz getting some more reps halfway through set number 2. And again, that just shows the depth that this key Kafer squad has. So set 1, this has very much the shades of that, as right now, Juniata trying to even it up early, and there once again, we saw it in set number 1. Not as much in set number 2, but boy, oh boy, untimely error. Not that any error is timely for that matter, but Juniata down by 3. Ace is the place. Justin pulled it out of his sleeve.
Absolutely beautiful swing. And going back to the service errors for the Eagles, we're at the point now where they've almost lost a half a set to service errors. 12 now on the match.
Nice job on the slide. That's the second time they've tried it all day. Hoffman couldn't find it earlier in set number 2, finds it there a third of the way into set number 3.
That's an interesting offensive scheme there. Firebirds weren't really set up to even have an attacker on the outside to block. Another service error goes long.
And see, what the intriguing part of this is, most of the service errors for Juniata have been into the net. I believe that's the second or third only that's gone long on the evening. Carthage more than content going 1 for 1 the rest of the way.
Ironically enough right now, how many service errors are they averaging per set? Over 4.
Trying to answer back, all smiles, is Goldsboro. Goldsboro now helping lead the offensive charge. Stick around as well for the post-game show. Just want to remind everybody, head coach J.W. Kafer will be joining us up in the booth, win or loss. But in case it's that sweep at home, it'll be sooner than later. Falling away but playable.
Great swing on that, keep it alive.
Cholowinski with the great wall of Carthage. And oh, thank heaven, it's 7-11.
Slurpee time. I could go for one of those right now. It's been warm enough in Kenosha lately.
Ready to go.
Ready for spring, man. Lacrosse has been warming up. You're seeing baseball and softball start to practice indoors still. They haven't quite gone outside yet. But lacrosse was out there earlier today. It's getting to be that time of year.
And a service error, a rare one for Ryan Morey today.
That one, I don't know if his initial toss was too low. He came down with a really low swing on that. Only made it about halfway up the net.
Playable. Cholo keeps it in. Juniata is...
They're being overruled.
So yeah, Juniata was like, wait a second now. That did not look in. But that's okay. If the R1 has the better vantage point, that's why he's there. No qualms at all.
This crew's done a good job tonight.
Yes, some of the best. You and I were talking about that in the pregame. Pancake underneath it. It just shows you the continuity with the officiating crews, I was telling you in the pregame how our R1 today, Mr. Marek, I did NCAA Division I postseason women's volleyball with him. Our R2, Mr. Christian, I've seen throughout the season. I have done men's volleyball at Loyola University in Division I. I also saw him at the University of Michigan. I mean, these are best of the best for this weekend's tournament.
Absolutely. You'll have to see that there are so many officials who are doing an incredible job still. It's always talked about how hard it is to find good officials, how hard it is to find people who want to be officials. So to see guys come in here and be as incredible as this crew has been something really special tonight.
That'll stay in. Justin, talk me through set number 3. Both teams, is it a defensive adjustment or is it offensively? It's not going more than 2 or 3 touches this time around.
No, I think it's just now the guys, their swings are warming up. You're starting to see, kind of like in other sports, you see the scoring happen later. Now these guys, their swings are warming up, the setters are getting in sync, everything is clicking, and it makes for quicker points as that one sails out of bounds.
Juniata thought there was a tip. Chase Robbins very vocal with the R1, no call.
Now they're discussing it with the R1. That might also be the R1 saying, hey, tone it down a bit here. I am the law.
Yeah. To quote Judge Dredd, I'm the law. They at least made a remake of Judge Dredd in the past 10 years, so I mean, it's not.
Yeah, that's close enough. Carl Urban.
Oh, another slide for Luke Hoffman. I love a good slide, and again, because of the power at the men's game, you don't quite see it. As we have head coach of the women's team, Leanne Ulmer, in attendance today, one of the best coaches for the slide in the CCIW.
As well as next to her, Coach Lee Berea of the Division II Parkside Rangers in town. So a couple of really solid women's volleyball coaches in attendance today.
Carthage now up by 4. Back and forth and back we go. Kolwitz, a stellar job this evening from the service line. Carthage out hitting Juniata 275 to 226 in the battle of the heavyweights. Joust at the net. High set left side. From the Bick, that stays in. It does not stay in. So one of the line judges set in, but the R2, R1, and other line judge all set out. So what's challenging right now for Juniata is they are closest to one line judge. They are going off of his response to their reaction.
Which for that line they should be. His responsibility is that line. But with the R1 being closer on that side, he has jurisdiction.
Juniata, Hoffman, slide, stop me if you heard it. Right now, though, if you're Carthage, you don't want to make too many defensive adjustments to stop the slide because then you are out of position for potentially another offensive attack. Rolls off the tape of playable for the Firebirds. Poked over the middle. Hudson Schweitzer. Firebirds 3 away from the red zone in set number 3.
Middle combo of Schweitzer and Cholowinski have been electric tonight, both on the block and the swing. It's really kept the Firebirds ahead most of this game.
Oh, tip.
That one just through the hands. I believe that was Ruben Emmerich. Just slipped through the block, got in between the forearms, and I believe off his head and out. Firebirds still up 4.
Out of play, another service error.
Now, as we get closer to the end of this set, with the Firebirds up 5 now, you start to have to think about national implications. As I know we're a long way away from it,
Sure.
but the national tournament
This is huge.
Going back to last season, Coach Keegan Kafer said the 5-set loss to NYU in this early stage of the season is most likely what kept them out of the tournament. So a win for Firebirds here could be huge. A loss for Juniata could be huge.
Yeah. Juniata says not so fast, clawing on Grant Lorelli out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. But looking at some of the numbers for Juniata, not only have they not lost this year, Justin, they have only lost one set the entire year. They have been all sweeps. 7 out of their 8 victories by way of this 3-set sweep.
Critical ace there, though, brings them back within 3. And the only set loss they've had was in set 1 to PRRP, and they came back in 1 and 4. Pretty convincingly, too. So this team has it in them to come from behind, but they've never had to play behind 2 sets so far this season. True test of character for this unit. Beautiful up there.
Decoy flying into the bick. Kolwitz, self-preservation by Otto. That one's going out of play. Nice job with the delivery. Owen Hendricks, the Rocket. Firebirds need 6.
Hendricks now his 7th kill of the game. Second on the team behind Owen Otto with 9. Now stats are working again. 14 service errors for Juniata through
It's a lot.
3 sets so far. Not ideal. Right on track with what they've done this season, though.
Missed time, no touch. Firebirds have reached the red zone and are 5 away from the convincing sweep of number 5 ranked Juniata. Set 2 might have been that tipping point. Juniata had the lead in the second, excuse me. Double block the kick. Playable off of touch number 3, and that goes out of play. Juniata all out of sorts.
Nice
Timeout called by the Eagles.
It was a nice kick there. Not quite Jenna Damon level kick that we're used to. But still a great play. Kept the play alive. Unfortunately, the Eagles couldn't quite do it.
Yeah, for those who haven't seen Shameless plug, Shameless, go to Carthage and their social media accounts as during the women's volleyball season, the #1 play on SportsCenter Top 10, none other than Jenna Damon, the libero, a soccer-style bicycle kick. Unreal that still happened. Not only that the play happened, but that it was a top 10 play, and only that it was top 10, it was #1.
Absolutely. And the fact that they won the point off of
Yeah.
it, too, was just an impressive.
Yeah, I think it was a Liv Carroll kill which ended it.
I believe that is correct.
So talk us through what the rest of the weekend's going to look like for this Carthage team. Again, it doesn't get easier in just about 24 hours.
No, and Stevens is going to be one of the hardest opponents they see all year long. And what's even tougher is Stevens isn't going to have played yet. Tomorrow is Juniata and Baldwin Wallace kicking things off at 3:30 before the Firebirds take on Stevens at, I believe, 6 p.m. So they got to come back. They got to rest up. They can celebrate this win, but they got to get right back focused, take on a tough Stevens team. But they got to be feeling really good right now with where they're at.
Left hand stays in, kisses the corner. Wow.
That ball was, again, on a dime into the far corner. Nothing the Eagles could do about it.
Corner pocket shot in billiards. Firebirds need 3. Juniata trying to not go lightly into this evening. Lot to look at in the next less than 24 hours, especially for Juniata, to see what went wrong. A big part of it is that serve receive. From the Bick, floating over, playable for Juniata. Near pin, underneath it. Not able to get there is Otto.
Good effort there by Otto. A great swing right in the seam. Took advantage of a big gap there between the middle and left back.
Power serve. Nolan finds it. The back set hit off the tip. Playable for Juniata. Near side. Self-preservation. Auto directional sets to the back row. Back set for the Eagles. And Cholowinski jammed a finger. Carthage still sits 3 away from the sweep. Timeout called by Key Kafer, and that is a good idea.
Absolutely. Settle them down a bit here. You got a young team. They've got a really good team against the ropes right now. Don't let them get too excited. Don't let them panic any bit. Just reel them back in. Let Cholowinski shake off the pain of that jammed finger a little bit. I'm sure that didn't feel good. But kind of bounce back. Speaking of bouncing back, if the Firebirds hold on today, Juniata's got to bounce back immediately tomorrow. As far as this tournament goes, again, it does not get easier for them either.
No.
Baldwin Wallace, Stevens, both great programs. They got to be able to bounce back. They got to come out and take care of business tomorrow against Baldwin Wallace to start things off. Otherwise, their season might be in trouble early if they end up dropping 2 out of 3 or even all 3 this weekend.
Yeah, you mentioned that national implications. The CCIW doesn't get any easier for Carthage, so you want to fight against the best, win against the best. And wow, coming off a loss in their last time out, they would love absolutely nothing more. And again, that was a sweep by the hands of Cal Lutheran. So to then come back and sweep the 5th-ranked team in the nation could go a long way.
On top of beating UC Santa Cruz on their home court in 5 in very exciting fashion. So marks a good 2 out of 3. Ooh, great block.
Yeah, blocked right back. Subbing in was Ben Heiss. Not to say we might have spoke too soon, but what a little run.
Say, it seems like Uncle Mo has changed sides a bit there with the momentum.
Carthage just needs 1 to start feeling this out. Blocked through. That's all it takes is that one Owen Hendricks. Again, Juniata needs some 2 and 3 for 1 deals to come back. They got it so far. Carthage needs 2 to close.
That was unbelievable by Owen Hendricks, going up against a double block and out jousting with just his right hand. Incredible show of strength there.
That one deflects out of play. Nolan can't get there.
It's a tough play there for Nolan.
Juniata within 3. They needed a run. They've gotten a run so far. Here in set number 3. Pass to the left side, pokes through, blocked right back. Joust on the left side, poked underneath, played it. Carthage able to keep the rally alive. Can Juniata take advantage? No, they can't. Match point for the Birds of Carthage.
Tarble Arena on their feet. McDonald checking in to serve. This is exactly where the Firebirds wanted to be right now.
It was 22-15. A 5-2 run for Juniata. Can Carthage close? It won't happen there. Juniata 3 away from sending it to extras. 24-21. Hush falls over the crowd at Tarble Arena. Don't forget head coach Key Kafer joining us in the post-game show. Could be as soon as 1 point. Live by the serve. Die by the serve. Juniata, a service error to close up shop this Thursday evening in Kenosha. Justin, initial thoughts of this contest before we take a break before the head coach Kiefer show.
I think what an absolute showcase of offensive talent from this young Firebirds team. Coach Kiefer fired up on the court with his assistants. Huge win against a higher ranked team, an undefeated team, to make a statement to open up the Frog Jump Invitational. What a first match we had too. What great volleyball from both ends.
Absolutely. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, the post-game show with head coach J.W. Kiefer. Number 8 sweeps number 5 here at Tarble Arena. Game 1 of the Frog Jump Invitational. Don't go anywhere. We will be back with the post-game show live on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome into the postgame show here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. The man of the hour, the man with the power, the hit breaker, the record breaker, fastest man to 100 wins in Carthage history, head coach J.W. Kiefer. Coach, rumor has it you didn't even know that was win number 100.
No. That's a big number. I don't think maybe I am that old now. There's times where I don't feel old. There's days where I do feel old, and I guess I've been here for a while. That's cool. Thank you to LJ Marks for what he's done for my career and for allowing me to take over his program and to continue to push it in the right direction. Thank you to all the athletic directors I've gotten to work with over here in my time at Carthage. Each of them have been instrumental in helping me become a better human and teaching me to help teach these young men. But most importantly, thank you to the young men and men now that I've gotten to coach here at Carthage. Just a pretty special place, and it starts with the people. And those guys have been unbelievable to me the minutes since I've got here. The seniors are Jacob Ballard, Braden Wallmans, Ben Perez. Just really elite at helping me find my footing in this job. And it goes past through all the classes. They're the incredible young men I get to coach. I'm the luckiest coach in America. And I'm thankful every single day that the trust that they allow to have for me. So, holy cow, 100. That's, man, I wish I wasn't that old, I guess, yeah.
You're
still younger than me. It's okay, Coach.
Yeah.
It's okay.
All right, Coach, now getting into the 100th win tonight, your team was electric on all ends of the ball. What went right tonight against a higher-ranked team in Juniata?
Yeah, I think playing those matches in California helped us. This was the first big match for Juniata. They hadn't played a ranked team yet. And, I think coming back from Santa Cruz, we're pretty battle-tested. Cal Lou, took our lunch from us in that three-setter at their place, or at Santa Cruz, excuse me. And we learned a lot about that entire tournament. We learned a lot about what we need to get better at as attackers, as defenders, as servers. And credit to all these guys on our volleyball team from 1 to 21, from buying in to having tough communication with each other, but how to play together, from the mental performance side of things, of them coming together as a unit. Guys, the bench was elite today, and the energy that they brought for this volleyball team. From point one, it was pretty sweet. I think it was great to see Owen Hendricks and Owen Otto hitting that ball sharp cross court 4-4. And I said in the locker room, there's nothing more Carthage volleyball than Owen Otto's second set swing to end it on that Bick wide open, or that go ball wide open, and just stumps the ball. And it was because that right side blocker had gotten beat cross, line, high hands, and he was thinking, and he pulled his hands. He didn't even go for a block move, and Otto just stumps it. So, when we get the offense going with our cross-court swings in the go ball and using the middle Bick, we're pretty good. I thought the Bick was pretty bad today, with how good the go ball was. And so we got to find that one, but we're going to continue to work on the go ball first before we get back to the Bick. We'll find that one later. Hudson Schweitzer was elite in set 3. I think he made a really big block move on 20. Luke Hoffman early, he's an All-American, a guy who's been there at Juniata for a long time. He was hitting negative 0-2 and 4, and he comes back for 0 and 2, so 1,000 in set 3. Mental resilience from a freshman. You don't see that a lot, and I was really proud of him. And I thought the setters, Joe Kolowitz and Ryan Morey, were awesome in moving the ball around, dishing the rock, giving the hitters confidence. Zach Noland was unbelievable in the backcourt today. His passing was elite and consistent. His communication was calm. He kept our serve receive in the right space, and I thought he dug a lot of balls. He got beat early in set 1 with some pretty good swings by Juniata, and he started to make some adjustments based on where they were passing. And really proud of him. His defense in 2 and 3 was elite. So across the board, we were really good today. Proud of our guys.
And kind of one of our themes of the broadcast was live by the serve, dive by the serve.
Yeah.
Your team looked a lot better in serve than we've seen earlier in the season.
Yeah, they have.
And they seem to keep Juniata off balance all night. Hard top spins, floats. Was that kind of the plan, and how did you go about formatting your approach to the game with that? Yeah,
you're always a better serving team at home, so no shock on the road. We're pretty dead medium, and out here we let some balls go. I thought Owen Otto served the ball really well from the baseline. Got an ace in set 3 down the line, and again, got Juniata thinking. I think that was really important. Joe Kolowitz, I thought, had a really good serve today, and bringing the baseline heat. If we have confidence back there and loose arms and can rip, we're pretty good. The 8 error number is elite. This is a serve pass game, in every phase, right? And I thought today was very apparent it was a serve pass game. I think we had 3 aces, 8 errors, and they had 1 ace, 15 errors, 2 aces, 15 errors. So just a massive disparity just in the statistical category of serve reception, serve ace, or service or reception error, service ace. But then on the side of that, I thought when we did pass the ball, which isn't on the box score, I thought we were in system all night long, and I thought they just were off the net a whole ton, and we knew where the ball was going to go because of it. So, yeah, like we serve the ball well, we pass the ball well, and good things are going to happen. I really love the backcourt effort this team throws out there. We run balls down, we bring them back. Joe Kolwitz in set 2 takes a rip from third contact from 12 feet off the net. That wins the second set. That got us going and got us to win the second set. And he's a setter. He doesn't normally swing at balls. So a big rip there in set 2 wins us that match.
Yeah, appreciate the lefty, too, that
bro.
he delivered it with. With that being said, you have to turn the page very quickly to tomorrow. What's the next 24 hours look like? Walkthroughs, rest, or just come out here and get ready to play? It's one of the toughest tournaments. AVCA mentioned it on all their social medias how this is the tournament to watch this weekend if you're a fan of college volleyball.
Of course it is. Number 3, number 5, number 8, number 12. We don't shy away from tough competition. None of these coaches do. Juniata and Glenda Haven's a really good friend of mine. Dan Beering, at Stevens is a good friend of mine, and we've always wanted to play each other and test each other early, so we knew what we wanted to get better at, and we know we're in different regions, right? And so if you play the best teams in the country, the next time you're going to play them in the Final Four, so you're not giving too much up. And then Kyle Mars, what he's doing, another good friend of mine at Baldwin-Wallace, is pretty elite. What they've done this year with that roster in like their 4th or 5th year is really impressive. Kyle's really killing it out there. So the best volleyball you're going to see in the state of Wisconsin for sure. It's going to be a tough day. Tough weekend. Luckily, we get to play one in each day, whereas a lot of these teams are coming in and playing multi-volleyball. Stevens didn't play today, so we're going to be the tired team tomorrow. But, we'll serve and pass. Probably more just like stretching, yoga, move. We got a good scout in. It's nice to be at home. Like we did this in Santa Cruz, and that's a lot more pressure on everything you're doing. So being home and sleeping in your own bed and get a chance to do the things your way is nice. So, we need more wins like this so we can host the NCAA tournament first and second round in April and have that same feeling of calmness of doing your business at home, of going monotonously as opposed to rapidly like you are on the road. So this is a big one. Last year we lost to NYU on a 5th set tape ace at Santa Cruz, and we had that Juniata team down dead to rights, up 1-0 in like 18 to 12, and they came roaring back and got us in 4 at their place. And those 2 losses ended our season. We weren't able to get in it. We were the last team out. We've been using .1 as a big example when they ran the NPI for how many points we were out of a 100-point system. We're out by 0.1%. And so a win like that's massive for us. Instead of losing to Juniata, now we get that win in the win category. So massive for our season. Our captain, Jack Patel, talked about that in the locker room of that .1 that we gave up to Juniata last year to let them in. I'm happy we took that back our way, and we're not done. A lot more to earn, so again, we can play NCAA tournament matches at Tarble.
Well, Coach, go get some rest. Tons of fans waiting to congratulate you on win number 100. Glad we were one of the first to do so. We'll see you in 24 hours.
Thanks, Peter.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Go Birds.
Once again, that was head coach J.W. Kike for 25-20, 25-22, 25-21. Justin, not much more we can say about the success. Coach Kike, for as the fans are just yelling his name now. Final stats. 269 to 218 service aces, but the big one, even Coach mentioned it, the service error differential, 15 to 8, truly was the difference in the victory today.
Yeah, and I think, this is exactly what we wanted to see out of Frog Jump. As we mentioned when talking to Coach Keycaver, some of the best teams in the country are here. It's going to be great volleyball all weekend. And this set up some interesting storylines for both these teams. On the one hand, Firebirds, you got a convincing win. You're going in with great energy against a good Stevens team tomorrow. And on the flip side, Juniata, they got to kind of regroup, re-rally, and go back in against another tough team, Baldwin-Wallace, tomorrow, fighting to keep their season alive.
And let's talk about this weekend's broadcast. Tomorrow, the 31st of January, 3:30 men's volleyball, Juniata versus Baldwin. Justin will be on that call. 5 o'clock, Wisconsin Privates College Diving Championships at 5. And then we will be immediately following that Juniata Baldwin-Wallace game with Stevens, number 3 ranked, versus your Carthage College Firebirds. And then Saturday, Wisconsin Private Colleges swimming at 11. Volleyball, Juniata Stevens at 11 as well. 1:30 men's volleyball, Stevens versus Baldwin-Wallace. And then the nightcap, 4 o'clock, your Firebirds versus Baldwin Wallace. So again, Coach mentioned busy weekend for both of these teams. Once again, your final, Carthage 3, Juniata 0, the 3-set sweep for the Firebirds over the Eagles in the Battle of the Birds. We want to thank executive producer Mike Love, producer John Voinovich, as well as the staff and crew, Natasha, Morgan, Laura, Ty, and Ainsley. Again, we won't name names, but one of our crew members, it's the last time she will be helping run the broadcast. A joy and pleasure it has been being with her these past few years. This program has been a presentation of Firebird Broadcast Productions and Carthage College. We want to thank you again for being with us on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Once again, for Justin Coorigan, I'm Peter Ferreri. See you tomorrow.